Grab an old book to make a unique decoration. Carefully slice 3 pages from a book. Measure and cut squares from each of the pages. The easiest sizes to work with are 4 or 5 inches. Working with one square at a time, fold in half diagonally, then fold in half again 2 more times. Repeat with the other 2 squares. Cut a small tip from the folded corner of each piece. Draw a half circle on the opposite side. It should look like an ice cream cone. Cut out the half circle and use that piece as a template to repeat with the other 2 pieces. When you open them up, they will look like 8 petaled flowers. Take one flower and cut out 1 petal. Take the next flower and cut out 2 petals. Take the third flower and cut out 3 petals. You should now have 6 pieces with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7 petals. Put the 1 and 2 petal pieces to the side for now. Use a toothpick or lollipop stick to gently curl the petals outward for a more authentic appearance. Starting with the 7 petal piece, use a hot glue gun to attach the cut sides. Repeat with the 6, 5, and 3 petal pieces. If the 3 petal piece is sticking up too high, you can trim the bottom. Use hot glue to attach the pieces, largest to smallest, staggering the petals for a more natural effect. Take the 2 petal piece and draw a thin line of hot glue. Gently place it in the center of the flower and open the sides till you get the look you desire. Make as many as you like and use them in various ways. You can make a bookmark by gluing another page from the book to both sides of a sturdy piece of cardboard. Punch a hole toward the top and thread the flower through, and secure with hot glue. You can attach 1 or more to a wrapped present. Use lollipop sticks threaded through the flowers and attached with hot glue to create a fun bouquet for a jar or vase.
For this project, I want to grab a roll of toilet paper from my bathroom. I'm going to start by mixing the Mod Podge with a little bit of water in this container. With the mixture ready, it's time to start layering the toilet paper into the molds. I'm going to spritz each one with a little water so that the toilet paper sticks to all of the nooks and crannies in each of the flowers. Then I can lay some toilet paper down onto the mold. I'm going to use a small brush to gently push the wet toilet paper into all of the little details in the mold. I want to be quite gentle so that I don't rip the toilet paper. Now that layer is down, I want to gently brush on some of the Mod Podge mixture and add more toilet paper. As the layers start to build up, I find it easier to use a dry brush to push the toilet paper down. There's quite a bit of liquid now, so each layer sticks fairly easily to the one before. Now that I have about 6 layers of toilet paper in each flower, I'm going to leave them to dry. This typically takes about a day for them to completely dry out. While the molds are drying, I'm going to start working on the vintage mirror that I have. I'm going to use a creamy off-white paint to give it a bit of warmth and an antique look. It's going to take 2 coats of paint for sure. Now that the toilet paper is dry in the molds, it's time to release them. It comes out quite easily, but I want to be gentle so that nothing cracks or rips. I'm going to use a small pair of scissors now to trim each flower apart and then to cut off all the excess toilet paper from around each of the edges of the flowers. Even though the toilet paper is white, I want it to be the exact same color as the painted mirror, so I'm going to use the same paint that I did on the mirror to lightly paint each of the flowers. With the paint dry now, I want to add a hint of dark brown wax to each of the flowers. This is going to help bring out all of the beautiful details and give them an aged look. The last thing to do now is to arrange and attach the flowers to the mirror. Since the flowers don't need much to adhere them, I've gone ahead and put some wood glue onto a plastic lid, and I'm just going to dip the edges of the flowers right into the glue. I love how pretty this mirror is now with the flowers. It definitely needed an upgrade from the boring brown.
To start off this craft, we're going to go and cut a stress ball in half. To start our flowers off, we're going to go and roll out just about a 4-inch sheet. Now we're going to cut just about 3 to 5 pieces of this. I ended up cutting 5 pieces just to make it easier so I could go and shape everything. Now what I'm cutting is I'm cutting a point to the front of this, and then at the end I'm leaving it a little bit blocky. For these smaller flowers, I'm cutting just about a 3-inch piece of this crepe paper. I'm going to cut, again, just about 5 pieces of this. And to go and make these smallest petals, you can go and cut these pieces in half, and then go and shape them the same exact way as you did for the largest ones. Pretty much every petal, including also the leaves, which we will be cutting those in just a second, those are going to be the same exact shape as the petal. They're going to be pointed at the front and then have a little bit of a blockiness at the bottom. And here they are. Now that all of your petals and leaves are cut out, we're going to go and start to use some wire reinforcement. Now these sticks really are not too long. I think they're about 12 inches in total. So the largest pieces, which would be both the leaves and the petals, I'm going and taking this stick, and I won't have really any metal that is at the end. For these smaller ones though, I'm going and taking these pieces of wire, and it's going to be just about 3 or 4 inches of the wire that's there, cutting it down, leaving just about an inch at the end. We're going to take that half of a stress ball, put some hot glue in the center, a small piece of a cut sheet of this yellow paper, which we're going to stretch, and then glue in place. Now we're going to go and take just about 1.5 foot piece, cut this slightly in half, and we're going to cut these little lines down, and these should be every almost centimeter, maybe 1.5 centimeters or so. We're going to go and twist each of these cut areas. Now we're going to go and take some hot glue, put it around the half of the cut ball there, and we're going to go and lay this around the entire piece. Now we're going to go and start to glue the petals. 3 petals for the inner portion, and then 4 petals for the outer portion, but it also depends too on how much space that you have. After those are all glued down, which I did end up getting 3 in the center and 4 in the outer portion, then you can go and flip this over and start to glue down some of the leaves. I ended up using 4 in total. You could use either 3 or 2 of them as long as you space them pretty evenly. And when you flip this over, it really shows very well with all 4 of these leaves. For the center, I'm going to push all these wire pieces in, glue around the edges, and take some more green paper and just lay it over. Now to make the smaller ones, we're going to use a ping pong ball for the center, put some glue on the middle of it, and do the same exact thing that we did for the stress ball. Then we're going to go and take some more of this paper that we twisted. You do it the same way for the larger one, and you can start to go and glue your petals in place after that is all down. These smaller ones, again, I used 3 in the center, 4 on the outer portion, but these ones had larger stems for the pieces of wire. And after the leaves were glued down to each of these pieces, then I went and I wrapped it with some floral tape. I decided that I wanted to make a spread with these because when I think of poinsettia flowers, I always think more along the lines of like a bushel of these different flowers. So I put the largest one in the center and the 2 small ones at the sides, using some terracotta pots just to go and hold the smallest ones. Now you can always leave it as a centerpiece just like this, or you can always turn this into a freestanding structure. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.